Welcome to today's topic. What is the Millennial Temple? Part 1. What does the Bible say about God's future temple in the last days? Ezekiel 41. In the 25th year of our exile in Babylon, in the beginning of the year, on the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after the city of Jerusalem was taken, on that very same day, the hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me there. In the visions of God, he brought me to the land of Israel, and set me down on a very high mountain, on the south side of which there was what seemed to be a structure of a city. So he brought me there, and behold, there was a man, an angel, whose appearance was like bronze, with a line of flax and a measuring rod in his hand. And he was standing in the gateway. The man said to me, Son of man, look with your eyes, and hear with your ears, and set your heart on all that I am going to show you. For you have been brought here that I may show it to you. Declare to the house of Israel all that you see. And, behold, there was a wall all around the outside area of the temple house of the Lord, and in the man's hand a measuring rod 6 cubits long, 10.2 feet, each cubit being longer than the standard one by a hand width. So he measured the thickness of the wall, 1 rod, and the height, 1 rod. Then he went to the gate which faced the east, and went up its 7 steps, and measured the threshold of the gate, 1 rod in width, and the other threshold of the gate inside the thick wall was 1 rod in width. The guardroom was 1 rod long, and 1 rod wide, and the space between the guardrooms was 5 cubits. And the threshold of the gate by the portico of the gate facing inward was 1 rod. He also measured the porch of the gate facing inward toward the temple of the Lord, 1 rod. Then he measured the porch of the gate, 8 cubits, and its side pillars, 2 cubits. The porch of the gate faced inward toward the temple of the Lord. There were 3 guardrooms on each side of the gate toward the east. The 3 were the same size, and the side pillars on each side measured the same. And he measured the width of the gateway, 10 cubits, and the length of the gate, 13 cubits. On each side, a border, barrier wall, 1 cubit wide, stood in front of the guardrooms on each side. And the guardrooms were 6 cubits square on each side. He measured the gate from the roof of one guardroom to the roof of the other, a width of 25 cubits from one door to the opposite door. He made the measurement of the side pillars 60 cubits high. The gate extended all around to the side pillar of the courtyard. From the front of the entrance gate on the outside to the front of the inner portico of the gate, the distance was 50 cubits. There were shuttered windows looking toward the guardrooms and toward their side pillars within the gate all around, and likewise for the porches. And windows were all around inside, and palm tree decorations were on each side pillar. Then he brought me into the outer courtyard, and behold, there were chambers and a pavement made for the courtyard all around. 30 chambers faced the pavement. The pavement, that is, the lower pavement, was by the side of the gates, corresponding to the length of the gates. Then he measured the width from the front of the lower gate to the front of the exterior of the inner court, 100 cubits both on the east and on the north. And as for the gate of the outer courtyard, which faced the north, he measured both its length and its width. Its guardrooms, 3 on each side, and its side pillars, and its porches had the same measurement as the first gate. Its length was 50 cubits, and the width was 25 cubits. Its windows and its porches and its palm tree decorations had the same measurements as the gate that faced toward the east. It was reached by going up 7 steps, and its porch was in front of them. The inner courtyard had a gate opposite the gate on the north, as well as the gate on the east. And he measured 100 cubits from gate to gate. Then he led me toward the south, and behold, there was a gate toward the south, and he measured its side pillars and its porches, and they measured the same as the others. The gate and its porches had windows all around, like those windows in the other gateways. The length was 50 cubits, and the width was 25 cubits. There were 7 steps going up to the gate, and its porches were in front of them, and it had palm tree decorations carved on its side pillars, 1 on each side. The inner courtyard had a gate toward the south, and he measured from gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. Then the angel, brought me to the inner courtyard by the south gate, and he measured the south gate according to those same measurements. Its guardrooms also, its side pillars, and its porches measured the same as the others. and the gate and its porches had windows all around. The length was 50 cubits, and the width was 25 cubits. There were porches all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. Its porches faced the outer courtyard, and palm tree decorations were carved on its side pillars, and its stairway had 8 steps. He brought me into the inner courtyard toward the east, and he measured the gate. It measured the same as the others. Its guard rooms also, its side pillars, and its porches measured the same as the others. The gate and its porches had windows all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. Its porches faced the outer courtyard, and palm tree decorations were carved on either side of its side pillars, and its stairway had 8 steps. Then he brought me to the north gate, and he measured it. The measurements were the same as those of the other gates, with its guard rooms, its side pillars, its porches, and the gate had windows all around. The length was 50 cubits, and the width was 25 cubits. Its side pillars faced the outer courtyard, and palm tree decorations were carved on them on either side, and its stairway had 8 steps. A chamber with its doorway was by the side pillars of the gates. There the burnt offering was to be washed. In the portico of the gate were 2 tables on each side, on which to slaughter the burnt offering, the sin offering, and the guilt offering. On the outer side, as one went up to the gateway toward the north, were 2 tables, and on the other side of the porch of the gate were 2 tables. 4 tables were on each side next to the gate, a total of 8 tables on which they slaughter sacrifices. Moreover, there were 4 tables of hewn stone, ashlar, for the burnt offering, a cubit and a half long, a cubit and a half wide, and 1 cubit high, on which they lay the instruments with which they slaughter the burnt offering and the sacrifice. The double hooks, 1 hand width in length, were installed in the house all around. The meat of the offering was to be placed on the tables. From the outside to the inner gate were chambers for the singers in the inner courtyard, one of which was beside the north gate, with its front toward the south, and one beside the south gate facing toward the north. He who was guiding me said to me, "This is the chamber which faces toward the south. It is for the priests who have the responsibility and take care of the temple. But the chamber which faces toward the north is for the priests who have the responsibility and take care of the altar. These are the sons of Zadok, who alone from the sons of Levi come near to the Lord to minister to him. He measured the courtyard 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, a perfect square, and the altar was in front of the temple. Then he brought me to the porch of the temple, and he measured each side pillar of the porch, 5 cubits on each side, and the width of the gate was 3 cubits on each side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the width 11 cubits. And at the stairway by which it was ascended, there were 2 columns beside the side pillars, one on each side of the entrance. Ezekiel 41:1. Then he, the angel, brought me to the nave, outer sanctuary, and measured the side pillars. 6 cubits wide on each side was the width of the side pillar. The width of the entrance was 10 cubits, and the sides of the entrance were 5 cubits on each side. And he measured its length, 40 cubits, and its width, 20 cubits. Then he went inside the inner sanctuary and measured each side pillar of the doorway, 2 cubits, and the doorway 6 cubits high, and the width of the doorway 7 cubits. He measured the length of the interior of the inner sanctuary, 20 cubits, and the width 20 cubits, opposite the nave, outer sanctuary. And he said to me, "This is the most holy place." Then he measured the wall of the temple, 6 cubits thick, to accommodate side chambers, and the width of every side chamber, 4 cubits, all around the temple on every side. The side chambers were 3 stories high, one above another, and 30 chambers in each story. And the side chambers extended to the wall, which stood on their inward side all around, so that they would be attached, but not attached to the wall of the temple itself. The side chambers became wider at each successive level as they encompassed the temple, because the structure surrounding the temple went higher by stages on all sides of the temple. For that reason, the width of the temple increased as it went higher, and thus one went up from the lowest story to the highest one by way of the second story. I also saw that the temple house had a raised platform all around it. The foundations of the side chambers measured a full rod of 6 long cubits in height. The thickness of the outer wall of the side chambers was 5 cubits, but the free space between the side chambers belonging to the temple and the outer chambers was a width of 20 cubits all around the temple on every side. The doorways of the side chambers toward the free space were one doorway toward the north and another doorway toward the south. And the width of the free space was 5 cubits all around. The building that was in front of the separate area on the side toward the west was 70 cubits wide, and the wall of the building was 5 cubits thick all around, and its length was 90 cubits. Then he measured the temple, 100 cubits long. The separate area and the building with its walls were also 100 cubits long. Also, the width of the front of the temple and the separate areas along the east side totaled 100 cubits. He, the angel, measured the length of the building along the front of the separate area behind it, with a gallery on each side, 100 cubits. He also measured the inner sanctuary and the porticos of the courtyard, the thresholds, the latticed windows, and the galleries all around their 3 stories opposite the threshold were paneled with wood all around, and from the ground to the windows. But the windows were covered over the entrance and to the inner room, and on the outside, and on all the wall all around, inside and outside, by measurement. It was carved with figures of cherubim and palm trees, so that a palm decoration was between cherub and cherub, and every cherub had 2 faces, so that the face of a man was toward the palm decoration on the one side, and the face of a young lion toward the palm decoration on the other side. It was carved this way on the entire house, temple, all around. From the floor to the space above, the entrance cherubim and palm decorations were carved, and also on the wall of the nave, the holy place. The doorposts of the nave were square. As for the front of the sanctuary, the appearance of one doorpost was like that of the other. The altar was of wood, 3 cubits high and 2 cubits long, and its corners, its base, and its sides were wood. And he said to me, "This is the table that is before the Lord. The nave holy place, and the sanctuary, holy of holies, each had a double door. Each of the doors had 2 leaves, 2 swinging folding leaves, 2 leaves for the one door, and 2 leaves for the other. And there were carved on them, on the doors of the nave, cherubim and palm decorations like those carved on the walls. And there was a threshold of wood on the front of the porch outside. There were lattice windows and palm decorations on one side and on the other, on the sides of the porch. Thus were the side chambers and the thresholds of the house. Thank you all for your time of fellowship and spending time meditating on God's Word with me. My prayer is that the Lord will bless you and keep you, that His face will shine on you and be gracious to you. I pray that the Lord will lift you up with His favor, grace, and give you peace in Jesus' name. Amen.